what we want to accomplish, we'll submit it na lang to you, ma'am. But it's, next slide, just an example, no? 14 foreign service posts, but this is within the next 5 years. No, so it could be one next
The
year, could be
14
3.
is not part of the 8 open this year.
We submitted 14 to DBM, none was approved.
You just, without the new ones yet?
Yes, yes.
Not this year, apart from this year.
Apart from this
May
year.
I hear the 14, please?
So,
Does it include Kazakhstan, or this year na in Kazakhstan?
reopening of Palau, Bogota, Colombia, reopening of Barcelona, Spain, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Morocco, Sweden, Dublin, Havana, Kazakhstan, Nagoya, Istanbul, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Melbourne, International Maritime Organization, London. This is a very small post, but they since it's a maritime organization and maybe around half of seafarers around the world are Filipinos, we are highly recommending this. Then, but Madam Chair, those are the 14, but we'd like to prioritize Barcelona, Nagoya, Stockholm, and Istanbul, Dublin. Well, depending on how many you say, but we'll give you a priority list.
Barcelona, we committed that last year. I was wondering why it was not included this year. It should have been. And Addis Ababa as well. Stockholm, the ambassador talked to me, the Swedish ambassador, 2 years ago, and we tried to have it included this year. Unfortunately, it was not included. Okay, we don't have presence in Central Asia, right? And there's so many Filipinos already in Central Asia. Do we have any posts in Central Asia?
That's why we're proposing Kazakhstan.
Hindi nasama 2018. Yeah.
How many posts are we trying to open this year?
This year, 3. It was supposed to be 4, sir, pero we couldn't get permission from Saudi Arabia for Al-Khobar. So so 3 plus 1 ho. So yung 1 inaayos pa ho natin. But they allowed us to do missions there. So so the 3 are Frankfurt, Copenhagen, and Houston should be open in a few months. All three already open. Should be inaugurated. And
next year?
Next year, we'd be happy with 3, very happy with 5, and very, very happy with more than 5.
Well,
but I think...
you know, Mr. Secretary.
Yes.
During the time of the late Secretary Ople, I was the one who raised the issue of what is the standard that we use in opening posts abroad. And we agreed that basically we'll look at 3 factors. Political, as in we must have posts in all ASEAN countries, in the US, etc. Number 2, economic, meaning that there is a substantial trade or potentially large trade between in the place where we are. And 3, of course, the reality is we have Filipinos all over the world. Now, I would like to think that these are reasonable and realistic standards before we open our posts in different parts of the world. I would like to think that the priority should be to strengthen our presence in the areas where we have a large number of Filipinos in place, particularly in the Middle East. So that as a result of this, on the choice of the DFA, I think we closed, how many, I don't recall, 10 postings, because it could not be justified under any of the 3. But we did not, number 1, I committed to the DFA then that I will not reduce the budget, and we did not reduce the budget. It did not result in the displacement of any personnel because we redeploy them in the areas where we needed them, particularly in areas where there is a heavy concentration of overseas Filipino workers. So I think we closed 10, which were the choices of the DFA. We did not interfere. One of those, what I saw with my own eyes, was the one in Venezuela, where we really were doing nothing. And so, but that is why I was wondering whether or not we are following the same policy which the DFA set then. In other words, can we rationalize and justify the opening of this post on the basis of any or all of the three factors that we have set?
May I confirm, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Senator Dolonia? Yes, we're following that three plus another one, security, which you can also put under political. So, for example, in Turkey, it'll be a big advantage for us there because a lot of the...
We're present in Turkey, right?
Yes, but we're in Ankara, but as far as so as far as the business, for example, sa Africa, no, China will be hosting almost all the leaders of Africa, and the UN and US are also putting some focus because they look at the great potential of the African economy. Of course, varies from one country to the other. So if you look at Filipino companies, for example, our water companies, no, they're going to different countries already. Nagiging multinational na rin. Or if you look, for example, at the company of Mr. Carlos Chan, no, not only was he successful in China, in India, and then now he's in South Africa also. So I'd like to confirm, sir, that yes, we're looking at that. But of course, some of the indicators are more potential, than the tradition. So when you say economic, for example, no, let's say Colombia, no, some will say, what's the opportunities there? But they're opening up, and we need a base in the Latin America community or Southern American community because they look at us as their Latino brothers far away. So there is a move by them to be closer to us. And in fact, they buy some of our products, but through some of our neighbors rather than from us directly.
So given those criteria, which posting are we going to have for this purpose of the 2019 budget? And how are we justifying them? How many postings are we having?
Yes.
How many new postings will we have?
We submitted 14, for We submitted 14 to DBM. None was approved.
For 2019?
For 2019. So if the Senate tells us you will add, we will follow that number and give our priority. But if not, we will follow the DBM NEP and not open any.
For this year, 2018, you would have
three. We opened 3. And
you opened 3.
One is we weren't given permission yet.
Yeah, but how will you fund how did you fund the 3 or the 3 in the budget?
Through the Senate in the
Yes,
GAA of 2018.
Okay, so, and the 4th one is also in the budget?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.